Nonprofits are a vital part of our community, providing a wide variety of services and often stepping in to assist people when they need the help the most. We'll learn more about some of our local nonprofits this week on WNIN Newsmakers. Over the past few years, food insecurity in our area was exacerbated by the pandemic. Joining us to talk more about the mission of the Tri-State Food Bank is Executive Director Glenn Roberts. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit more about the food bank. 40 years of service, right?
Yes, we started in 1982, a very, very small operation. This past June, we celebrated our 40th anniversary.
Wow.
And it was a wonderful celebration. We just took a break to thank all of the people in the communities and the volunteers who have helped us. It's been an amazing journey, and we've experienced such tremendous growth over the past 40 years, and especially over the past couple of years. We just surpassed, a few days after we did the celebration, kind of a milestone in poundage.
Wow.
Over 200 million pounds have been
goodness.
distributed through Tri-State Food Bank.
So tell us more about the Tri-State Food Bank. You've grown. You actually moved during the middle of a pandemic, which, that's a challenge in and of itself. But when we say Tri-State, it's not just Evansville. You have a large geographic area that kind of taps into that poundage as well, right?
Absolutely. We truly are Tri-State. Our service area includes 33 counties.
Wow.
16 in southern Illinois, 9 here in South Indiana, and 8 in western Kentucky, south and northwestern Kentucky. 33 counties, over 12,000 square miles.
Wow, so a lot larger than what people realize.
That's true, and we couldn't do what we do without our partners. We supply food is our main objective, and we have so many partners: pantries, soup kitchens, schools that do backpack programs. We have new programs that serve seniors, and it's totaling 278 partners throughout the 33 counties.
Oh my goodness. So that's how you distribute the food, right? So you're taking food in from a variety of different sources. Tell us a little bit about that, and then tell us how you get that food distributed throughout all of these counties.
Yes, we're a food bank in the kind of classical sense of the word. We don't have a pantry associated with our food bank, so families and individuals don't come to Tri-State Food Bank for food. Okay. We supply those feeding programs, and we get our food from various sources. One major source is actually the government, giving us government commodities. And of course we get donations, and then we also purchase food. Now on the donation side, by and large our donations come from food manufacturers, so we get them by the truckload. But we also get small donations. We will be happy to get a can of soup from someone, because everything is important. And this is how the community can get involved, is organizing their own food drive. They can either do it a physical food drive, or people that can actually go to our website and click virtual food drive and make a financial donation, which will help us purchase food. Okay. So we get all this food from various sources, and then we put it in the warehouse, organize it, and then we ship it out to our agencies. Our agencies, like our pantries and soup kitchens, they will make an order, and they'll place an order with us, and the local agencies, mostly here in Vanderburgh County and Warwick County, come to Tri-State Food Bank on Lynch Road and pick up their order. All of those agencies that are further away, we deliver to them. So we've got a fleet of trucks to make deliveries.
Okay. Well, you've mentioned making that virtual donation, right? And we're talking about inflation, so it's a huge topic right now. So inflation has also increased the need, and whenever someone donates to you virtually, we used to say $1, you could stretch that to $10, right? But now that's really changed for you as well.
Yes, $1 used to be equivalent to 10 meals or so, and that has gone down. Inflation is affecting that. Right now it's $1 can provide 6 meals, but inflation is a double whammy, because it is hitting people in their pocketbooks, and it's hitting the food banks as well, because we face the same rising prices as anyone else. Fuel costs, especially for us making all those deliveries. And inflation is bringing more people to the pantries. We're seeing longer lines over the past, I'd say, month or 6 weeks. we're seeing our pantries reporting like an increase of 25, 30, in some cases 50%. More people visiting the pantries, and many of them for the first time. Many of them for the first time are facing food insecurity. And we are doing our very best. We're hanging in there. I got asked recently, are you rationing your food at all? And we are not.
Okay.
We're filling all of our orders. It's a challenge. The government programs they've had to cancel orders on us. So all this food that we normally rely on, they're canceling the orders, and it's going down the line. It's supply chain issues because the food providers are saying we can't get the food moved because of a shortage of truck drivers. So it's all connected. But we're hanging in there, and we're just purchasing more food is what we're doing.
Well, the pandemic really caused an issue in terms of food insecurity, workforce challenges, those types of things. What did you see during the pandemic in terms of people coming in, and what have you seen since then? Yeah,
the need rose about 30% during the pandemic. And again, many of those, they lost their jobs and were food insecure for the first time. So the need really spiked during the pandemic. But the government stepped in. They increased SNAP benefits. The government stepped in with a lot more food. They had this thing called family food boxes that they were doing across the country. And we were utilizing those, and that helped meet the need. Times are different now with inflation because, as I mentioned, the government food is not only, it hasn't increased, it's actually decreased. So we're facing a double challenge right now.
Definitely. And I know the COVID-19 Crisis Response Fund was here to assist nonprofits during that time, and you all were the beneficiaries of some of that money. So tell us how that helped and what that enabled you to do.
Yeah, absolutely. What a blessing that fund was. And we also received so much other COVID-related funding, and that helped us purchase food. It's that simple. We just needed to purchase more food. And we were hiring staff, we were pushing people out to get that food out there. So it helped our operations, helped us cover those fuel costs for the trucks, but mostly it was used to purchase food.
Well, if someone's interested in either connecting someone to food sources or helping your organization, how do they get in touch? How do they get involved? And on the flip side, from the client side, how do they access some of the food that you make available?
That's easy. It's all on our website, tristatefoodbank.org. If you're needing food assistance, just click Find Help, and you'll see a list of pantries and soup kitchens organized by state and by county. Other people can help. If they want to help the food bank, volunteers. Yeah. Volunteers. That formula of $1 can equal 6 meals or 7 meals or whatever, and people say, how do you do that? Well, think about it. It's like a business. And when we get so much of our product donated, that's free raw material.
Right.
And then the volunteers who come to the food bank and pack those meal boxes and pack the backpacks, that's free labor. Yeah, so that makes for a good return on investment. So volunteers are absolutely vital. We have like over 1,300 volunteers over the course of a year. Go to our website, you can click on how to volunteer. You can do all the signing up online, electronic, and pick a shift. We need volunteers Monday through Friday. We have a morning shift and an afternoon shift. And about every other week we do a volunteer blitz at the food bank. And it's 3 hours from 9 to noon. Great opportunity for groups to come in, corporate groups, church groups, and pack senior meal boxes, for example. Also making a financial donation, of course that will help. And you can easily do that on our website. So funds, food, and friends, the volunteers, the 3 Fs.
Well, we'd like to get to the day where we don't see that food insecurity any longer, don't we?
Yes, we do. I think there will always be a need, there will always be people in crisis, but we want to see that diminish, and we want to fill those gaps where food is missing, those people who are in the food deserts and the homebound. We've started several programs in the past few years as we have grown. One program we started last year, a senior grocery program. Wonderful. Yeah, we got a pilot grant to see if this would float, and it floats. Right. Yeah, so we have seniors in senior centers getting a bag of food, non-perishable, but we also add some fresh produce.
Wonderful.
That's a new program we started. In southern Illinois, that is part of the poorest area in Illinois, in the heart of southern Illinois, in 2021, we found a cold storage site because we had a source of fresh produce that was coming from Illinois, but it was going to Evansville, and little of it was getting back to southern Illinois. We found a cold storage site, 3,600 square feet, and we opened it in 2021 so that our southern Illinois agencies could go there and get fresh produce. And that's been a dream come true.
Wonderful. Lots of exciting times at the Tri-State Food Bank. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all your information.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Our next guest is the President CEO of Evansville Rescue Mission, Tracy Gorman. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, some of our viewers might have a limited perception of all of the things that Evansville Rescue Mission does. So tell us about your mission and some of the programs that you provide.
Well, we are in our 105th year, which is
Fabulous.
a really long time.
Yeah, it is a really
sometimes I feel like I've been here the whole entire time, but I haven't been. But it's great. It's a great organization. We have our flagship, which is the Men's Residence Center, and it's a 222-bed men's facility. There we provide food, clothing, shelter, programming, all the things that you would think of for a traditional homeless shelter, but also it's more comprehensive because our goal is to get individuals out of that cycle of homelessness.
Right.
So we try to help them have the tools that they need for that. So that's the thing that we have been known for 105 years, but we also own and operate Camp Reveal, which is a 105-acre camp on the north side of Evansville. We have the Youth Care Center, which is a juvenile detention center downtown, and it is really the only juvenile detention center in the area that's a lockdown facility. And we've operated that for 40 years. And then we just opened the Mission Grounds Coffee Shop at the old Washington Square Mall and our thrift store, the thrift store at Washington Square Mall. So we have a lot going on all the time, and it's an exciting place to be a part of.
Most definitely. So tell us a little bit more about your coffee shop. How do things like that, everybody thinks of you whenever it comes to the thrift stores, but how do your thrift stores and the coffee shop and those types of things help provide your mission?
Every dollar that is a proceed from the thrift store or from Mission Grounds goes back to help fund the mission of the mission, providing the food, providing the clothing, providing the shelter for the people in our area that just so desperately need that type of assistance. And so, without a doubt, your purchase at those two entities makes a difference right here in Evansville, where people are helped on a daily basis. And so, when you go in there and have that delicious latte, and I'm a big fan of those. Your purchase is making a difference, and it's helping people right here in our area. So we love being able to do that. It's a fun place to go to. It's a fun place to be a part of, and we hope people will stop in.
So we've talked so many times about the effects of the pandemic, but we just can't get off of that topic, right? We're still feeling those effects. So what did you see at the Rescue Mission and in some of your programs in terms of the pandemic, and what has that influx been since the pandemic has waned?
So at the very beginning, we immediately set up some procedures and protocols that ultimately were used by rescue missions all across the country, just in the way that we were going to attack this new thing that nobody had ever experienced. We reduced the number of residents in the building for social distancing purposes, but at the same time, we increased the amount of food that we were giving out. Back in the early days, we began a drive-up program where people could come and get food because they couldn't go inside our building. And so there were some new things that we started and we tried that worked really, really well for us. Now we're starting to see more individuals coming back into the shelter, seeking shelter, seeking space, getting into programming. And so it's kind of been cyclical, I suppose, but now we're starting to see that trend begin to escalate again.
All right. Well, and you collaborate with so many other organizations because, as you mentioned, it's not just about finding shelter. It is about actually helping someone with a hand up. Tell us about some of the collaborations you have with some of, whether it be Aurora or some of the case managers. How do you help people and how do you work with others in terms of making someone successful?
Well, one of the big objectives that we have really is to find the right place or the right programming for the person that's seeking that assistance. Sometimes the best place for them to be is Evansville Rescue Mission. Sometimes it's United Caring Services. It just depends on what they're looking for, what they need. But we do partner with Aurora, we partner with Southwest, we partner with Echo. These collaborative efforts, I believe, are, honestly, I think it's something that makes Evansville so special, because we do have so many organizations in this community that have at their heartbeat really helping the individual and getting them out of what I said earlier, that cycle. And so when we work with them, we find that the end result is the person is going to get that assistance that they need. And so we need these other organizations, and Evansville is so blessed to have all of these organizations that are working right here in our community. So very blessed.
Well, when we talk about poverty and impoverished or people who are having financial challenges, it's really more complex than just saying, well, someone just won't go get a job or something like that. So what are some of the factors that you see as people come into the shelters, they go through your programs, even from the youth side? What are some of the contributing factors that make this issue so complex and not just a quick fix on one thing?
One of the biggest trends that I think that is being recognized across the country, and certainly here in our community, is the role that mental health is playing in seeing the numbers grow so greatly all across the country. You see the images on television and you hear about them, just the encampments that are growing.
Yeah.
Mental health is such a big issue, and really until organizations like ours, like the others that we just mentioned, until we really focus in, and I think we're trying really hard to do that, all of us are, on the mental health aspect, we're probably never going to really, make the kind of dent that we want to make in this issue. And so I'm glad to see that more funding is going for mental health. I'm glad to see that more awareness is being placed on mental health. But it's a really big thing, because it's not the stereotypical image of a homeless individual is not necessarily what it used to be.
Right.
And we have to recognize that.
So tell us a little more about what you do for the youth. We talk so much about the services for the adult males or the shelter services, but Camp Reveal, let us know a little bit more about that in your youth care center. You're really spanning the age group now.
We do. Really, we have programming that just covers the whole gamut of an individual's life. At Camp Reveal, we're just wrapping up this week a really successful summer camp program. We've had 250 kids that have been a part of our day camp program, and it's been an amazing summer out there for those kids. We have the lakes, we have the zip lines, we have all the fun and games that a kid could ever want. I wish I would have had something like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But we've had a really great season out there. Last week we had 16 individuals that were baptized. It's just been a great summer at Camp Reveal. We really love making the impact. We had a lady just send us a note the other day, 89 years old, and she was talking about how her life was changed at Camp Reveal when she was a kid.
Amazing.
It is.
That's amazing.
It is.
Well, Tracy, thank you so much. So many exciting things going on, and I'm sure that they can find your website and more information on your website as well if someone's interested.
Absolutely. We would love that. EvansvilleRescueMission.org.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Here with me now is Morgan Mcrae, Director of Mission Advancement and Community Relations for Evansville Goodwill Industries. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So again, we just talked about thrift stores, but that's what people know Goodwill for as well. But let's shine a light on some of the other services that Goodwill does and what they provide for our community.
Yes, you're right. A lot of people know us for our thrift stores, but a lot of people don't realize the purpose behind those thrift stores, which is to fund our programs and our mission for the local community. So we have 4 main programs: our Good Skills Academy, which provides free computer classes to anyone in the community. The lab is located at our Green River Road location. We've also got our Work Solutions program, which works with vocational rehabilitation to help individuals with disabilities get jobs. We have our Senior Community Service Employment Program, or CSEP, which helps individuals 55 years and older who are low income get jobs. And then a newer program we have is focused on our employees who are just looking to meet their goals or just get some basic necessities met as well, and it's called our Good Guide program.
Wonderful. Well, let's cover the thrift stores because that's what, like we mentioned, so many people think of when they think of Goodwill. You still take donations. You take donations at how many different locations, and what kinds of donations do you not want to get at some of your thrift stores?
So we have 14 locations across the tri-state area. Each of them do take donations. Some things that we cannot take are like household chemicals, so paint, cleaning supplies. We also can't take mattresses. Some TVs, like older TVs, we're not able to take as well. So just be cautious whenever you're thinking of donating those kind of items.
And you want items that are gently used, right? You don't want
Yes.
something that really should go in the trash, because if someone drops off an item, say the thrift store is closed and you have the bins outside, and they drop off an item that you really cannot resell or utilize, what happens to those items?
So we do try really hard to be as sustainable as possible. So when items that we get are maybe not in the best condition, aren't able to make it to our sales floor, we do work with other companies to sell them as salvage, and they then recycle those items and turn them into other items. So we try to be as sustainable as possible. We also work with Dell to recycle computer parts, and they reuse them as much as they can, as well as other old electronics.
Well, I know Goodwill, like United Way and some of our other larger organizations, are part of a bigger organization, the large Goodwill. But really, donations and things that people do for our local Goodwill, they stay right here, don't they?
Yes, a lot of people don't realize is that all Goodwills across the nation, they're autonomous organizations. So think of them a little bit like a franchise. So we have our own CEO, our own board of directors, our own mission, our own programs, our own stores. So that might be why you see different prices when you go to a Goodwill in Bloomington versus a Goodwill in Washington, Indiana. So we cover parts of Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana. And so when you donate and you shop in those areas, all of the funds are going to the local community.
You mentioned Good Skills Academy. I've had the opportunity to be in that computer lab. Really neat space. Tell us more about what types of programs, how people can get involved with those programs. Is there any type of cost? Some details around that.
So the Good Skills Academy is completely free. We have a great instructor. We call him Digital Dave. He teaches classes ranging from the very basics of computers, like how to even turn it on, all the way up to Excel. We do resume workshops there. We have a wide variety of classes that he is working on developing, and we also partner with other nonprofit organizations through that program, like the United Methodist Youth Home. They have designated class times, and he also is going out to like Atria to provide classes to them as well, because we do have laptops there with the intention of taking it mobile if we need to, and so that people can just come in and even just use the laptops if they need to.
So if someone is interested in coming to the Good Skills Academy, or if they know someone who might benefit from the Good Skills Academy, how is there an application process? How do they find out more information, and do they need to apply to come?
So our registration is on our website at evvgoodwill.org, as well as the calendar for classes. So you can see the full August calendar online as well as register there.
So we also are talking about how people can get involved and help our organizations through volunteerism. Do you have volunteer opportunities? How can people help if they want to provide and assist the mission of Goodwill?
We do have volunteer opportunities. People can come in and kind of help out in the store, maybe go through donations. We also have our annual Turkey Day 5K where people can volunteer as well on Thanksgiving morning. People can always just make a financial donation, or they can also make a material donation as well, because it's all helping the mission of Goodwill.
Well, Washington Square Mall, we've got mission grounds from the rescue mission, but I hear that maybe there might be some other opportunities at Washington Square Mall coming into play. Tell us more about that.
So we are moving to the Washington Square Mall in the near future, hopefully sometime next year. It's the old Sears building there. We purchased it back in 2020 with plans of moving a new location there, our headquarters there. We are going to be keeping the location on Green River Road, but hopefully sometime next year. We're working on renovating it right now. We will be able to open doors to a new store and new headquarters.
Wonderful. So one last time, how can people get more information if they're interested in either on the client side, plugging into some of the services that you provide, or helping on the other end?
So they can go to our website at evvgoodwill.org. They can always give us a call too at 812-474-2222.
Thank you so much, Morgan. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of our guests for sharing information about some of our local nonprofits who are so vital to our area. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching WNIN Newsmakers.